At last it ends. Welcome, friends and viewers, to the last stop on our road to remastery. I reckon 15's a nice number to slam the brakes on, and that sends us all flying into the endgame prize. Your average seasoned player of games is a fascinating piece to pick apart, for under each lies undying devotion to realms of fiction the world over. Always nice to hear people gush about their favorites, something they can speak for forever, intentionally or not. This probably seems silly coming from a sap who wears his passions like a tux, but I felt a no-holds-barred assessment of my go-to picks would be a suitable bookend to this special era of mine. Now, let's set the rules in place. As much as my heart wants them to monopolize the ranks, my brain told me to set a limit on Nintendo franchises, so only my top 5 will share the spotlight with 5 of the strongest outsiders. Makes things a bit more interesting. Lastly, to qualify, the series must have at least 4 major releases that I like, forcing me to exclude huge favorites like Banjo-Kazooie, Pikmin, and BioShock. Alright, let's end this. Dragon up! And dragonfly, cheetah, penguin, mole. Oh boy, that's another game of catch lost. It's kinda hard to fend for the merits of creativity when all we really seem to do is mix and match pre-existing concepts together, like a friggin' Lego set. Yeah, that kinda is how it be. Question is, are you good at hiding it? Well, you made a purple reptile mascot not terrifying for a change. I'm too happy to care. Spyro is a standout case in the art of trendy influence. The final chapter of the 20th century saw endless entries in the 3D platforming and collectathon genres, few of which confidently stand up to time. Discounting Nintendo's Adam and Eve of the bunch, Insomniac's take was undeniably the best. Nothing against Crash, but he doesn't enchant me the way Spyro does. The PlayStation's puny purple punk entertains on the purest of levels, imbuing the science of hoarding shiny knickknacks in a polygonal space with the magic of modernized fairy tales. It's the same kind of charm you'd see in old Disney films, cleverly updating it with our new tastes, but still keeping the same sense of wonder. I mean, just look at this. A hierarchy of anthropomorphic dragons, dragonflies bonded to them and their life force, a show-offy cheetah dude with a bow, a British penguin with a rocket launcher jetpack, and a agoraphobic mole boy with splinter cell tech. Just, oh my god, it's great. Spoiling us with all these inspired designs and themes would be one thing, but painting them over such solid platforming goodness really drives home their special quality, taking all the trademarks of the time and sprinkling them with outstanding variety and a one-of-a-kind flavor. Sure, Enter the Dragonfly was cheeks, but both classic and reignited trilogies, and especially A Hero's Tale, bring it far into the green. I may have grown up with Nintendo, but it warms my heart that something on the other side bottled up a similar lightning. Dragons rule. Okay, now this is interesting. Something extraordinary happens when enough people tell you no. Your hearing starts to fade, reality closes in on itself, and it truly starts sounding like yes. Context may vary, but the point carries. The louder and louder the voices scream at me to just leave Sonic behind, I proudly remind them, you can't. You literally can't. It's the fastest thing alive! I respect Sega's hot-footed ringmaster like I would a classic anime hero. The spitting image of game-changing tenacity is projected over 28 years of energized pride. From its start as an edgy subversion of the standard platformer, Sonic the Hedgehog has become the most polarizing of all the tentpole game franchises. And although I understand why, I don't understand why. Sure, mixing up your personal selling points can be off-putting, but the attempts to expand as a brand doesn't go unappreciated. Not to me. I really like how Sonic experiments with its name, applying their intoxicating adrenaline to a wider scope while making ripples in other genres. Maybe it's because I look past everyone's face, but merging the core energy with new passion really works for me. Even when they don't directly hit the mark, the thrilling hypersonic visuals, music, and overall style still brings out something worth keeping, and it bears repeating. That's inspiring. Not that a 24/7 roast-off between American Speedy Gonzales and Roosevelt choking on Humpty Dumpty ever needed to be deep, but for someone famous for moving, he sure is. I love the message gaming's fastest pushes forward. No matter if you trip and fall, keep a modest pace, or light the air on fire, you gotta keep running. And it's precisely why Sonic is so likable in spite of everything. Of course he's not perfect. Are your friends perfect? Through thick and thin, from 0 to 1,000,000. I'll never let go. Whoops! Dropped something! Oh, I think it was the ball. What's this? Something I didn't predict? Don't start getting good now, Logan. I hear it hurts. Sure does, cause ow! That's some good game. I'm quite the maniac for most of my life, but it's about time we say it right. Vaniac. It's Vaniac. Blah. Yes, unbeknownst to most, I'm a massive fan of Konami's crowning creation, Castlevania.
Have you played other games?
No.
Have you seen the anime?
Not yet.
Do you whip yourself for pleasure?
Yes I do. All the things you want to hear.
Sweet.
Alright, okay, I've only put half my foot in the door, but even that's enough as far as this surprisingly high placement is concerned. Coming from someone who loves classical horror and video games, Castlevania is a great blessing veiled in the best kind of curse. Now, plucking every last icon of old school monster media from their legendary homes and tossing them into a top-notch platforming joyrides is the work of a master I'd kill for. It's an act of hypnosis I instantly fell under. Nothing tickles my 8-bit joystick quite like the traditional Castlevania platformers, blending spooky retro magic with ear-melting music, fun weapons, intense difficulty, and a sense of accomplishment unlike any other. And I didn't even grow up with these. It's the most recent favorite by a mile, yet they still strike me with a tsunami of nostalgia. They're priceless antiques through and through. As for Metroidvanias, Symphony of the Night's all I've played, and that's the end of that. Personally, not as gripping as its inspiration, or as preferred as its predecessors, but mother of Bela Lugosi is it fantastic. Can't lie, I don't blame the series for following this handsome devil. Consider me floored. Everything, the theming, the gameplay, the challenge. It's just my thing. A mighty pool of holy water that keeps me coming back, even more than Dracula. whenever it comes time to inch towards the best there is. A big rule to remember is that legends are never written for free. The one called Zelda constantly pays it out of heart and soul. I feel like a beast of Twilight every time I remember just how good this series is, because I know that's even more time spent not bowing. Mr. Miyamoto's pointy-eared pride and joy is the ultimate in old world fantasy, the adventure genre's immortal emperor. Zelda is synonymous with our purest dreams of exploration and game-changing quality, even long after all the praise, all the real change it's brought for the better. I'm still so amazed by what it keeps giving us. Is a straightforward, never-ending fight between a bootleg Peter Pan and a buffet of deviled ham really all that special or unique? I guess you could argue no, but the where and how of its endless tellings always finds new ways to scream yes, devising thrilling and ingenious dungeons and dangers for the spirit of a mythical hero to overcome with an ocean of fun, versatile weapons and undying courage, while also wrapping him together in a trifecta of divine magic, continuing the legend forever. It's epically classic, and yet it feels new every time. The details, the emotions, the artistic drive all turn a fake journey into a real experience. From fragmented to open world, the sheer passion Nintendo has for both us and the essence of adventure couldn't be clearer. And it's crazy. I often get stuck in these games, ending up adding many of them to the backlog for years. Literal years! But it took me, because it truly is uplifting. From my first to my favorites to the ones waiting for me, the Triforce penetrates my core. Truly a master. Every once in a while, you come across something that shocks you to the point where you'd swear your arms were glow sticks. A curveball with the face, voice, and ginormous gun. And all you've got to hit it with is your face. Well, I did, and I got a smile-shaped scar to prove it. Yes, Spyro isn't my favorite Insomniac franchise. Ratchet and Clank is. Actually, I don't think that says enough. In my eyes, it's the best thing to ever happen to PlayStation. And what makes it so powerful is how little I was expecting from it. Like, what is this? A cheap Banjo-Kazooie cash-in?
Oh, good job, Sony. I want to play this.
Yeah, I do. Like, forever. I shut up at hyperspeed once it all set in. Ratchet and Clank resonates unbelievably strong with me because it brought a world I long dreamt of to life so accurately, I swore my mind was compromised. Being a fanatic of both space travel and story-driven cartoons for all my life, I was floored by this franchise's ability to carry both themes to such impressive heights. Essentially being an intergalactic buddy-buddy comedy with all the aesthetic qualities of a space opera with intense emphasis on way over-the-top gunplay and great camaraderie. That was literally a fantasy of mine. It was exactly what I was looking for, in the last place I ever expected. As such, I love everything Ratchet and Clank has to offer. Great characters, excellent comedy, awesome action thanks to an imaginative arsenal. And because I love the world and characters so much, all the attempts at drama and heart hit bullseye. It truly feels like this series was made for me, and that's not something I can say about most. Just goes to show, you never know what you're missing. I'll buy a PS5 even for $1,000 if it means I can see my buddies again. You've got something real special, Sony. Try and keep it, will ya? remember to appreciate the simpler things. As the super fighting king of simple, our friendly neighborhood Mega Man sizes himself up through sheer willpower. Care to share some? Capcom's platforming giant is stupidly awesome, yet at the same time, it's kind of weird. I have never seen such a simple execution carried so far and for so long, over several incarnations. And I'm not saying that to be rude. I'm legit amazed by a puny blue block's ability to keep on going for 32 years, when all he does is jump and shoot. Even crazier that I love it this much. And once you figure out why, it all harmonizes. The bare bones outline of a robot boy running and gunning from left to right, smoking the same evil dude for the rest of time, provides relief for surface level design and spotlights the super nerdy things you would otherwise never think to study. The importance of enemy placement, the deeper meaning of limitations, and just how much impact the difficulty has on the player. I like to think Mega Man influenced us all to look at games more mechanically, thereby improving standards and giving us all an appreciation for something we thought was nothing. My respect for the Blue Bomber is immense thanks to that. And the best part, it's mutual. Every one of the 28 platformers wearing his iconic color are rich with baby-choking difficulty and an intoxicating energy. You truly have nothing but your will to fight the odds. But that also makes finishing them a twofold triumph. Seriously, feels amazing. I am the god of shoot! Addicting, admirable, and brutally honest, with a compelling take on the dangers of robotic sentience. Mega Man is my favorite non-Nintendo franchise. Sometimes the only thing a nerd needs is a good long talk with his or her game. And good, this definitely is. Huh. Guess I got some splaining to do. Could it be considered sad to see a mighty leader fall? One that's paid for flying, no less? I'm gonna have to say yes and no, but only cause it helps to keep it real. Longtime followers might know Star Fox was the top taker of the original version of this list, and that I do not take the name lightly. Every kid has a dream, and mine was space travel. To see the universe in all its glory, maybe even become a hero. My childhood began with a fox, faced with the same drive, and with him and his lifelong friends, it all took off. Bam! Boom! Instant gamer. I can't understate it. Star Fox 64 is one of the best games of all time, and the most important game in my life. That alone guaranteed a top 5 spot. The story gets interesting from here, as this is where most say it ended for them. Me too? Absolutely not. Every game in the franchise hits me hard, be it the Super Nintendo duology, surreal, dreamlike feel, adventures with its technical excellence, solid world design, and diverse gameplay, Assault's expansion on the universe, story and combat, Zero's cinematic action and ingenious controls, once you get used to them. Yes, I even love Command, for its strategic tone, stimulating touch controls, and fun what-if storylines. Fantastic action, great production qualities, and a classic arcade energy. Exactly what I'd want out of furries playing Star Wars. So, why did it drop 3 spaces? Well, partially because I've grown more appreciation for some of the others, And I may call it Star Fox, but Nintendo calls it Star Guinea Pig. They always fiddle around with this series, either tossing it together with experimental gimmicks, another style entirely, or for the sake of duplicating 64's qualities, such as making Assault short or retelling the Lilat War in Zero. They're rarely progressive as a whole, and I think that's really demeaning to such a significant name in their history. Still, history is history, and a hero's still a hero. Godspeed, Mr. McCloud. I'd be lost without you. Two of Nintendo's brightest, most adventurous kids aspired to share their deepest passion with the world. The older wrote spellbinding fantasy novels, and the younger directed, wrote, and produced award-winning science fiction blockbusters. Sorry, but I'm a movie guy. The final of the final frontiers, vast offerings, dwarfs all those below it. And appropriately so, for in my eyes, Metroid is the endgame adventure and the pinnacle of interstellar gaming. Whereas Ratchet Clank and Star Fox showcase the fun-loving and action-packed qualities of space respectively, Metroid explores its darkest, deepest colors. Explore truly is the key word. Metroid innovates immersion through physical and emotional isolation, and it is fascinating what this does to the player. You're all alone, but you're still so capable. The brooding worlds and environments bring out a persistent air of dread, mystery, with powerful and creative weapons and abilities to progressively engage masterfully designed creatures that drive all your primal fears and wonders. It's a brilliant mix of mental disempowerment and adaptive power tripping with an exceptional sense of progression. Now, I know all the beef some have with all of this, in that maybe it's a little too overwhelming. Maybe the complete lack of guidance results in you getting lost, therefore frustrated, or just the fact that it's the only major Nintendo franchise that's dark and dreary all the time, and the extremes get to be a little much. Yeah, I hear ya. But to me, that's what adventure is. A challenge for my mind, and food for my soul. Yes, I also have a lot of fun through simply playing, but Metroid speaks to me without words. And without doubt, a rapturing alien attack on boredom. And my favorite thing in all of sci-fi, Metroid is cosmic in every way. It's easy to say it's just a game when its only job is to move time quicker, but through nothing but the power that's inside. One stupid little pastime can continuously shape the unimaginable. It's comical just how into Pokemon I am. I've made a top 100 for it, talk about it non-stop, own multiple copies of every game, got plushies in the double digits, love the anime, still got cards, my girlfriend's a superior! It's kinda my thing. You ask, to what end? What is the extent of my faith in Pokemon? Well, proud to say, there is no extent. I write Bible upon Bible, foolishly assuming there's an end-all appeal, but they just keep on dreaming. Sure, it's about fatherless kids and their magical pets beating the tar out of each other, but Tajiri's timeless treasure practically monopolizes the most valuable thing I've ever been taught. Imagination. These specially designed role-playing masterpieces drink from a bottomless pool of creativity, merging humankind's attraction to omnipotent fantasy and the real-life passion they have for their fellow creatures, taking notes from mythology, folklore, science, everyday life, everything and shape it all into a universe we all wish existed. From gene-spliced draconic titans of Taoism to a virulent, tentacled mass of alien DNA with 3 types of god mode to simply fire-breathing puppies and weeds with faces, even with the brilliantly detailed battle system, fantastic art, unreal music, and charming themes of advancing adolescence, putting such an enthralling spin on fictional creation first, I'd argue makes Pokemon a necessary experience. Never mind that I have so much fun playing. It helped me see what imagination can really do. Make my day, help dull pain, create my own happiness, share what I feel and envision with those who need it in countless ways. Nobody, not even the final contender, can claim such power, and that's exactly why Pokemon will always be amazing. Miraculously, there's one gaming franchise I love more, but Pokemon will always be my favorite concept. Period. I chose you, and it was the best choice I ever made. If dwarfs truly sit on the shoulders of giants, then the giants rest atop the best. I've lived my life partially in shame, never definitively admitting it has a true name. No more, because you haven't lived until you've jumped with the man. I'm embarrassed to say, I've consistently taken Mario for granted. I mean, yeah, I'm always glad to keep him around, but in the back of my mind, I would somehow always think back and say, yeah, he's good, but my God, he really is my god. 2 blue eyes between a red cap and a mighty mustachioed mug unwittingly became not only the next Mickey Mouse, but possibly the best thing to ever happen to entertainment, turning the 2D and 3D platformer into the golden genre to be with his constantly immaculate and innovative core platform adventures, using passionate simplicity as a deadly weapon to forcefully steal our hearts, ironically bringing out the ingenuity in even the most basic of designs with nothing but homegrown heart. The core titles alone solidified a top 5 spot, but they're not alone. With Mario, it's not so much a matter of what I like about you, because he covers so much, so well. You're never without something to like. Any genre lucky enough to wear Nintendo's great big Italian medallion is almost instantly guaranteed another masterpiece. It doesn't matter what kind of game you like, Mario's an important part of it. If he doesn't join in, he keeps the rest breathing. Racing, puzzle, strategy, party, action, adventure, RPG, sports, everything. With genres I favor, such as action, adventure, and RPG, some of my all-time favorites come from him. With the Luigi's Mansion series' excellent ghostly twist on action adventure, and both Paper Mario and Mario and Luigi's masterfully magical RPG revolution. Even genres I don't care about, like party and sports, even they shine bright under the prodigious plumber's red glow. It amazes me just how universal the Mario brand is. It's almost its own genre. Look, I love all of these franchises, but they would all be nothing without a king. A king who protects, invents, and guides. The more I realize how much he's done for me, the industry, the world, the wetter my eyes get. Never again can tears come from sadness, for my greatest hero's superpower is making smiles. Only proper that I start and end saying, thank you so much for to be making our days. This is being Fawful's Minion, and that was Road to Remastery. The fun is far from over. Let's see where the future takes us. Thank you so much for watching, guys. A standing ovation for the high-tier patrons. Shade 2800, Jordan Osceola, Tubazo 1989, Diamond Ice, Skellington 977, Mathtron 5000, Goldsbro TSG, Thomas Drury, Spark of Dusk 777, Cole the Wren's Castle, Jerway, Sensei Spyro, Lucario Smash 246, God Falking Dammit, Alfredo Jones, Green Moonlight, Sephi 90, Nightmare Steel, Zero Z, Jake Arnstom, Morgan Arvite, Squeegee Luigi, Baltazar Rodriguez, John the Pink, Renaku, Lord of Shadow, Cortamanch 437, Azazel the Undying, Cody Thomas, Peter Shepard, Solitaire Seamus, Christopher, GTY 200, Belkin, Michael Boyd, Steve, Masao, Exaox, put 9V in Smash Bros please, Roberto Del Fuego, Smash Mario Pro 2000, and Grandmaster Augustus. May we meet again.